Yo, real quick, what's up everybody? At the beginning of this video, I just thought I'd give an introduction to what you're about to see. This is kind of my take on the question people ask sometimes of why does God send people to hell? I feel like this is definitely a controversial topic, and it's one that sometimes people really get hung up on, and I was even in the process of making this, talking to one of my buddies about it and finding out that we kind of have somewhat different opinions on how all this works. But when I was randomly thinking one day about how I would answer this question, I came up with this analogy and I felt like it fit really well, so I decided to make a sketch on it. That's what you're about to see here in a second. But to set the stage, I'll give you a little short answer how I would explain it when people say, why does God send people to hell? I would say that even though, yes, God is the judge, so ultimately it is his call of whether or not you'll go to hell. I picture it as, because we're all sinners, and because we've all messed up, all have fallen short of the glory of God. In a way, early on in our lives, each of us has already personally stamped our passport, and we are already on our way to hell. We are already going. Thankfully, God loved us enough to send his one and only son that whoever believes in him will have eternal life. So we still have a choice. Another analogy I came up with was, imagine you have 2 college acceptance letters, and you're picking which college to go to. Eventually, you pick College B. Imagine you get to College B, you walk in, and you shake the president's hand and say, man, I can't believe you made me come here. The president didn't make you come to that college. You chose to go to that college. You had another option. Ultimately, it was the president who accepted you, but you had a choice. And I think that same thing about us being on a train, eventually going to hell, and we all have the option. Do you want to get off? Do you want to take the narrow path? Do you want to follow Jesus? Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense to you, but if it doesn't, hopefully this skit that I made will help. And again, I know I make a lot of silly content, but just a heads up, this one's going to be real. All right, put your big boy britches on. Enjoy the video. Oh, I got it. Yeah. So where were you just now? Oh my gosh. Sorry, what was up? A moment ago, before you were on this train, where were you? To tell you the truth, man, no clue. No clue. You said we're on a train? That's what our best guess is. Based on the things we've perceived around us. Where's the train going? No! I told you to buy at 5:02 p.m. Do you know what time you bought? 5:02 and 19 seconds. You are costing me, sir, money and aura. Money and aura! Oh, hey, yo, I didn't know we had a new guy. New guy, what's poppin'? How you living, man? All right, that's cool. Look, hey, you want anything to lighten the mood? I got like every substance you can think of. Name it, I got it. I'm all good, brother, man. Thanks. Do you know where the train's going, though? Do I know where we're going? Don't know, don't care. I hope we never get off this train. This train is popping, ain't that right, Big Z's? Yeah, he knows. That's my boy Big Z's up there. You probably didn't notice him. He doesn't say a lot because he's just like mad comfy. He's mad chilling all the time. But hey, I'll be up here if you need anything, bro. I'm gonna get back to it. Disrespecting women is my passion. Man, my jam just came on too. What's going on? All right, what is up, everybody? My name is Johnny. Good to see everybody this morning. Boo! Get off the train. Look, I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Don't worry about it. Again, my name is Johnny. I just want to ask y'all a few questions, see what y'all know. I just want to talk to y'all a little bit about this guy named Jesus. Anybody know anything about Jesus in here on this train? I feel like the name sounds familiar, but couldn't really tell you anything about him. Right. Okay, yeah, I was kind of the same way for most of my life. Like, Jesus sounded familiar. Like, I kind of knew the name, but I didn't really know too much about him. I didn't go to church growing up. And so for me, I really grew up caring a lot about, like, popularity, like status, like fitting in, like if people were going to laugh at my jokes or not. Stuff like that was, like, all I really thought about. I didn't have time for Jesus. I never really thought about it too much. It wasn't until I was a junior in high school, actually, that somebody kind of came along and started taking me to church. They told me about the gospel. They started telling me a little bit about Jesus. But how do you know Jesus is real? How do I know that Jesus was a real person who walked this earth? The same way that we know that Caesar was an emperor of Rome, or that George Washington was the first president of the United States. We just have the historical evidence. Like, even atheist scholars at this point will agree and tell you that there was a man named Jesus who died on a cross for claiming to be God around 2,000 years ago. But how do you know? I just told you, man. Just told you. But how do you know? Do you really know Jesus was God? We actually have plenty of eyewitness accounts and witness testimonies of people saying they saw Jesus or spoke with him or he cooked for them all after he had already died on the cross. What if they all lied? Yeah, because that seems totally logical. It seems totally logical that a group of people would get together and say, hey, you know what sounds like a super fun, chill thing to do? What if we just all got together and made up this story about this guy, and after we go and tell a bunch of people about it, we'll all get slowly tortured to death. We'll just die painful deaths. We'll be persecuted. We'll be on the run from Roman guards everywhere we go. We'll get beat up, spit on, whipped, flogged. We'll get burned at the stake. Doesn't that sound like just super fun? Doesn't sound logical, man. Whether or not their motives are in question still doesn't 100% prove that there's a God. Well, can you prove that there isn't a God? Well, no. Can you prove the Big Bang? No, but there is evidence. And there's also evidence that there is a God. Excuse me! Yeah, can y'all keep it down up there? I am listening to the Monster Moneymakers Grind Set podcast. They are literally teaching me how to live right now. I promise there is no way whatever you're talking about could be more important than this. So sorry about that, man. My bad. Look, okay, I said I wasn't going to take up too much of your time, and I really don't want to. I just wanted to make sure I talked to you all a little bit about Jesus and how much he changed my life. Jesus changed my life. The joy that I've had from Jesus compares to nothing else on this planet. So if I really believe that, and I really believe Jesus is who he says he is, and he brought me this much joy, it'd be kind of selfish of me to not go around and share that joy with others. So when I was in high school, I opened myself up to Jesus after a lot of struggles, and I'm going to read for you all the verses that kind of changed my life, and maybe that'll have some sort of impact on you all, and then I'll get out of your hair. This is Matthew chapter 5, and these are what we call the Beatitudes, real fancy church term. I know you don't have to understand what that means, but this is how Jesus opens up what is arguably his most important sermon in the Bible. He says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." And I remember reading that in high school and thinking, man, Jesus would have said, blessed are the kids who fit in. Blessed are the people who make a lot of money. Blessed are the people who are popular. Blessed are the people who have a relationship. Blessed are the people who look a certain way, who are fit, who have the right clothes. Blessed are the people whose parents don't argue. And Jesus doesn't say any of that. Jesus says, blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are the pure of heart. And I remember Jesus just taking my entire world and flipping it upside down and feeling for the first time the presence of the Lord in my life. And it was like he was saying, hey, this is where I wanted you to be the whole time. This is where I wanted you to be the whole time. There is so much more joy out there, but you're focused on all the wrong things. Come to me. Bro, get off the train. Boo. All right. I'll get out of here. I'll be praying for you all. Thank you. Yo, man, hold up. I'm going to go with you. Come on then. Let's go. Y'all, wait, hold up. Big Z's. Hey, we stopped again. You getting off? I'll get off at the next one. He's been telling me he's going to get off for the past 15, 16 stops. He ain't never getting off, though. Y'all are good. Man, it is so nice out here. Yeah, man, I'll still never get used to this. Gosh, man, I feel like I want to go back and tell them all about it. For real? Yeah, I really need them to understand that train's okay and all, but man, it's so much better out here. All right, man, we can set you up. What's that sound? I don't think we're going to have time to make it back to that train. Why is it getting so hot in here, man? Y'all hear that? Yo, Fizzies, wake up. I think we're almost there. Huh? Wait. Almost there. Wait, nah. I was going to get off. Wait, hold up. Stop the train. We all knew this was a one-way train, and that the ride wouldn't last forever. Fellas, wherever this train's going, I don't even care. It's been a pleasure riding with all y'all. Money bags, man, I appreciate you.
What's gonna happen to all my money?